What's up everybody? Welcome to Frontender. Let's talk about the getting started for your next project. There are a lot of subtle details that you need to know when you get started. So let's begin. So let's do an ng version to see what I'm using. I have Angular CLI 917. Let's create a new directory for our series and get into it. You can make a directory and get into it with a single line of command. Well, it's kind of like two commands in one, but there's a really cool way to do it instead of making a directory and then cding into it at the next prompt. So how do you do it? You do and cd $_, which means change directory into the recently created folder or directory. So let's begin with the all too familiar ng new application name. So this is the most familiar command for most of us that you use when you create a new project or application. Enter. Now we get into the interactive prompt. Would I like to add routing? Heck yeah! What style sheet format would you like to use? I'll take SAS, a CSS please. And then the Angular CLI shows you a preview of all the files that it's going to create once it finishes it, and it also couples that by installing the npm packages or node module packages. Once it's done, we'll take a look at the different types of files in this project folder. Let's use the new pro command to get into the directory. Well, that was cool, wasn't it? So the ng new project app, what it does is it creates a workspace and a shell application inside it. There are different types of files inside the folder, and let's take a look at them in detail. I've opened up the project app in WebStorm to take a closer look. So we have the project folder, and inside of it there are a bunch of source files, and these are application source files. You would find them under source. Basically all the app logic is here, where there is a main module, the application routing module, and the main component along with it. All your assets can be found here. You would usually end up creating different subfolders for the different static assets like images, font, JSON files, etc. The environments folder is for the environment settings. You would keep your endpoint URLs here and a lot of other configurations that you would want to use across your application. You also have the favicon, the index.html, which is the main file that is being served up, the entry point to your application in main.ts, the polyfill file. For those who have to provide IE11 support, you may have to uncomment this line of code, the main style file for your application, and the main entry point for your unit tests. There are also configuration files that are provided in this project app workspace. Those are most notably your browser listing, your karma config for your unit test runner. Configuring this for various types of outputs is a series in itself, so we will cover it sometime in the future. The TS config for your application and the TS config for your spec or unit test files. Along with the main parent TS config, you also have the TS linter, and it's listing all the different rules for your app. The E2E folder is all about end-to-end testing and primarily driven by protractor. You have your protractor config and the source directory, which has your specs, and the app.pots, the page object file. Well, this is all fine and dandy and works for the most part. But if you're thinking big for your business, your vertical, your group, your department. Then you got to think about a multi-project workspace. You can think of this as applicable for a bunch of mini applications, a platform set of products, and apps and libraries that span your entire product group. Well, let's see how to do that. First, let's close the WebStorm project. Let's cd out of that specific project application, clear the screen, and create a new multi-project workspace with ng-new Angular Unleashed. And the biggest difference is adding a flag, create application equal to false. Enter. So what happens here is instead of a workspace being created with a shell application or an envelope application, an empty workspace is created, enabling you to create multiple projects inside the workspace. As you see, the file listing is much smaller. Let's cd into it and check it out. And let's open it in WebStorm. So I pulled up the entire parent folder, the Angular series. Let's juxtapose the project app with the multi-project workspace in Angular Unleashed. As you can see, there's no source application or the end-to-end tests. It's a much shorter list with just the editor config, the Angular JSON for configuring the Angular multi-project workspace. And this is going to grow over time as we add and build out this workspace. The TS config and the TypeScript linting configuration containing the rules. That's it. In the next video, we'll see how we can add applications and libraries to this multi-project workspace in Angular Unleashed. Well, stay excited. And if you like this, hit the like button, crush it if that's how you roll. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.